When should I talk about serious stuff? Kids, finances, religion, etc.
Really uncomfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good. And the dogs go wild. Actually, they're getting used to this kind, I guess. The,
Yeah, I mean, I think they're more calm than what they are a lot of times.
I guess so. It's going to bug me that plant is not center on the table there. There we go. Yeah, turn the big leaf out because it looks better on film that way. All right. Gearing up, getting some energy up for this In Deep Shift podcast, where you get to meet yourself where the shift happens.
Right.
Say it nice and goofy, like make it sound real good.
Meet yourself where the shift happens.
That's not
Maybe I should
goofy.
do
That's
some
like
ASMR or whatever
right.
it is.
Meet yourself where the shift happens. When you put reverb on it, happens.
What do we have going on today? I'm just gonna move right on.
I see you like my banter right now. As we both try to get a kick on it, I don't know. I'm low energy right now.
It's one of those days, maybe because it's just, I don't know.
I woke up high energy, and then I went and worked out, and then my back's a little sore. I woke up before I thought I was going to wake up, too, because I fell asleep late and then woke up early. So, yes. Answer question?
Sure.
Wait a minute. I'm going to answer this one. I'm going to ask this one because I was looking at one of those videos last time, and I don't know if that was the last time when you asked a question and decided whether you wanted me to answer it. It made me answer that question, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and read a question here.
Ask away.
I know, I am. I'm going to ask it very nicely, too. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going to sing first. When should I talk about serious stuff? Kids, finances, religion, etc.
Oh, not on the first date.
That's not a first date question? That's not a first date rundown to talk about everything serious?
I don't think that it is. Do you think it is?
No. I was just being facetious and asking to be annoying. But no, definitely not. But why do you say it isn't?
I feel like it's jumping quite a few steps. You don't even know if you like this person. You're just getting to know them, just getting to meet them. And that can be intimidating.
That isn't one of those things, though, if somebody, before they want to know if they like the person, wants to be like, yeah, tell me everything I'm supposed to know, though.
What? Say that again?
There might be somebody who's thinking, in order to like the person, I need to know these things first anyway. So
yeah, they are going to need to know those things, but do you need to know them immediately right off the bat? I'm not saying wait months down the road.
So how long would you say? Not the first date.
Oh, I hate.
I know you do. That's why I asked the question.
No, because I'm like there are very few things where there are like these
but
hard and fast
give me something.
rules.
Give me something. You can't jump the line today. I'm not letting you jump the line today. You gotta pick a number, daggone it. Pick a date. Pick a date. Second date. We'll go in reverse for you.
Don't you think it depends on the people?
No, we're going in reverse for you because I know how you are. You don't want to say an exact number, but you will tell me what you don't like.
Because I don't have an exact number.
So second date. Can you ask on a second date?
I think it depends on how the first date goes.
You are, man. Oh, you're going to be like that. Okay, all right. Look here. So first date you went on, had a good date.
I think first date is like, let's just get to know each other. Let's just chat. We've talked about that in one of our earlier videos.
Yeah.
Some first date ideas. Just have fun. Like, can you have fun with this person? If you cannot have fun with this person,
all right.
Otherwise, you're also just like have this checklist that we've said don't have. And while there are some things that you definitely want to make sure align, things like kids. What else was on the list?
Religion, politics. I don't know. Kids, religion. I tossed it all the way over there. Hold on. With the camera back. I won't keep it close to me this time since you wanted to re-reference. Finances and religion. Kids, finances, and religion were the examples we were given.
Yeah, I don't think the first date because that's...
I wonder if they put kids first intentionally.
I don't know. Because that's just like you have this checklist and you're not really thinking like, do I even like this person?
Yeah.
But maybe depending on how fast it goes or how serious it is or where you each say like you're wanting. Because the first date I think can be like, so what is it that you're that you're looking for in a relationship. Are you looking for a serious long-term relationship? Are you just wanting to date around?
Mm-hmm.
Things along those lines. If that's what you're figuring out on the
So that's the
first
first
date,
date. Okay.
maybe then say the third date.
Okay. So what you're figuring out on the second date then? First date, you're just figuring out if you like each other and just kind of vibing.
I reject all these absolute
I know
questions
you
that
do.
you're
So what are
giving
you
me
figuring out the
right
second
now.
date?
The second date maybe is let's just go do something a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit more serious than the first date,
So the
but maybe
first
more
date is
in
kind of
depth, get
goofy,
any more,
fun.
maybe more in depth conversation,
Yeah.
depending on how you're able to communicate with each other.
So let's say the first date, I think one of the examples we used was like curling. So the
Yeah,
first date
yeah,
was like you go curling, you have fun, you laugh at each other.
yeah.
Or
Because then
we were
you're
talking the
like
other day
defenses are,
walking, everybody go the first date you two go learn how to double dutch. So,
yes, yeah. We came up with that one because we had that
because we had
conversation
that
about double
conversation about
dutching,
double dutching, which
which
I
we will
hope
revisit.
we will revisit that.
We will
And
revisit.
so the first date was go have something fun. You're saying the second date is more chill out and have a conversation kind of thing.
I would say in these dates that we're talking about,
Yeah,
there are
yep.
some like ideally maybe try these things.
Okay.
I'm never going to say, hey, do X, Y, and Z on
Okay.
this date and that date. But I would say, I would suggest maybe on the first date, ideally just being like light and easy.
Okay.
You and I have talked about the idea of like have an experience that neither one of you have had means that one of you isn't feeling more confident or better at it than the other person. You're both,
Right.
if you're something that you've not really engaged in a lot, both of you are feeling
Just feeling like either feeling like a fool
yeah,
or both of you are trying to avoid being a fool, which means
right.
both of you are not pressured to feel like you have to impress the other person because you're trying as much as possible
Yeah,
not to
it
look
helps the
unimpressive.
person be more natural and real and authentic.
Right, right, right.
So if we get those like remove those barriers and we are able to be more authentic
Mm-hmm.
and comfortable in ourselves, then we can have these questions that maybe if we're asking the questions like, "Hey, where are you at with kids?"
Yeah.
we could ask them in a way that would be conversational back and forth as opposed to, "Do you want kids?" No. Okay, check out. Oh, we might as well not
Right.
even be here, you
So
know.
that is one of those conversational things. Avoid yes and no anyway.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Just avoid the
Yeah.
yes and no
For the
anyway.
most part.
For the most part. You know, there's some things, but we were still talking about first or second date, so there aren't a whole
Right.
bunch of yes and no's there that even apply even then. So, all right, so first date, fun.
My
Second date,
suggestion is that, yeah, first date,
I
just
know
let
it's
it be
your
easy.
suggestion. We're on your podcast. Everything here is your
Sometimes
suggestion.
it needs to be said again.
Everything here is your suggestion. You don't need to put the disclaimer in. It's cool. We got it. First thing, fun, loose, first experience, new experience for both of you, so you can just be natural.
Yeah.
Second thing that is your suggestion is
This is gonna be a long day.
second thing is more in-depth conversation, something a little more deep. Now, is that
Yeah.
more when you think about that more in-depth conversation? Are we still talking about an experience type of scenario, or are you thinking more of a dinner date at that point? Or
I think it could be either one. Maybe you have an experience and you get something to eat or drink afterwards,
got you? So
you know?
just that there's space there to have an actual conversation, more in-depth conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the third thing, from what you said previously, from your suggestion, is that around that time would be where you get to hit my
Yeah, if
hips
the
thing.
conversation is moving where like, oh, I feel like this is fun. I feel like we're getting along. I feel like the conversation is easy. Then let's have those like let's ask those questions. Now finances, I feel like that one maybe not on.
Not on the third date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't think anybody maybe should be disclosing their financial situation that
That
soon.
soon.
Like in detail depending on
Yeah.
like how detailed they're getting, but in detail. But I've also seen people that are coming to see me for pre-marriage counseling or coaching and they don't like fully align politically.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when you meet with couples, their perspective on finances is not exactly the same.
Right, right, right.
But should you know how much like is it good to know how much debt your partner has before you get married?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, right?
Definitely.
Because like that becomes an our thing most of the time. So like I would say like you're now, part of a package, you're a parcel.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you come you're an and you come with someone.
Yeah.
Well, you need to have your own identity or it's good to have your own identity.
Yeah.
That it's important to know some of those things, like
I'd
in
agree.
detail,
I'd agree.
before you're coming to me for pre-marriage counseling or coaching.
I'd
It's
agree.
probably a good idea to have that
Yeah,
stuff under
long
wraps.
before the question's asked.
Yeah,
If
but
you're
that
even
goes
at the
back to
point
that
you're
transparency.
considering, you're
Yeah.
considering getting married, then by that point you definitely should have asked all these questions.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, your thought process is I want to marry this person. You can't be at the point you want to marry this person or thinking that really without having answers. Not I think if you're truly thinking about marriage from the full, totally immersed, engaged,
Being fully known and fully
fully
knowing.
fully knowing, fully transparent. I want to be fully connected to this person,
Hmm.
then that means these things should be there. I think some excuse me. I think some of what this question alludes to also is the idea of talking about these things when it's a specific question. Like, how many kids do you have? Or do you want to have more kids?
I think if
Not when
someone
it,
has kids already, like that should probably be disclosed at the very beginning.
well, that too, but I'm also, what I'm getting at is, say, for example, we're in a natural situation and we're having fun and we're pickleballing for first date. I don't know. I haven't done it. I'm holding out because I don't want to do it. I'm not giving in to pickleball. I want to play
Go on.
tennis. I'm still on the tennis thing until till I'm dragged off,
Till your knees can't
which I'm
handle
sure
it.
with me will happen. But it will happen.
I'm gonna
But
call it. I will call an audible before we get to that and say, yeah, no, no more.
or at least it's recorded now, so you can go back and say, "See, told you."
I
But
mean, you're the guy that broke a toe at martial arts with kids,
I'm saying,
playing dodgeball
I'm
with your
saying,
feet.
look, spatial awareness. You just gotta know. You gotta know.
Well, clearly you didn't know.
I know now, though. Sometimes learning is painful.
We're not doing that on
Sometimes
tennis.
learning is painful. That's what I'm saying. You learn.
Anyways.
Anyway, I was saying that sometimes these things come up in natural conversation.
Hmm.
I think this question is alluding to if they haven't come up in natural conversation, when do you ask this question specifically? But if you're having a good conversation and you're talking back and forth and you're just bouncing things back and forth and kids come up in date one, it doesn't necessarily mean avoid the conversation with kids.
No.
Don't dig down deep
No.
into the kid's history and all this stuff and what happened with the mom or the dad or whatever in the family and oh my gosh, the in-laws or any of that stuff. You don't have to go that deeply into it. I would suggest not to on date one. But if the conversation pops up, how many kids you have? Oh, I have two. Their names are this and this, and they like to do that and that and that and blah, blah, blah. And then you start kicking back the conversation to finding out about this person.
Hmm.
Because that's a natural flow of the conversation.
Hmm.
The kids are in your life, that's a natural flow of the conversation. I would say the same thing about religion, for example.
Right.
It's easy for that to pop up in a conversation because what are you doing this weekend? Oh, we're going out to, after this, blah, blah, blah. And tomorrow I have church in the morning, yada, yada, yada. If it flows into the conversation, it's a lot different than if it's an inquisition. The interview. So,
Yeah.
how do you classify yourself?
Yeah.
Do you go to church every Sunday or not? What is your belief in this? What is your belief in that? And we've
Right.
seen that.
That leaves very little space for people.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's part of the problem. Is when you have that
Hmm.
specific answer, you have the specific thing you want. For example, if you talk about date one, I like the idea of first dates being outside.
Mm.
Because that whole subconscious concept of you're more open-minded when you're in more of an open space. So if you're outside, it's
That's true.
easier to flow and have this concept of this and this concept of that and not be in, let me get check one,
There's also
check
more
two, there's trees, check
distractions
four.
for you
There,
to
yeah.
talk about and more conversational
I mean, it might sound dumb to talk
opportunities.
about the fall trees and the leaves on the fall trees, but how many different places that can I don't mean how many different places can that conversation lead in like this narrow sense. I mean,
Did
how
you mean
many
to think that pun?
huh?
Did you mean for that pun?
No, I did not.
Dad jokes.
I didn't at all. Matter of fact, I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear it until
So
you
I
pointed
said
out.
it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, where was I going with that? But no, it's not the idea of, for example, we were outside walking yesterday and you were talking about how you are enjoying the color of the leaves on the trees
Mhm.
this fall. Now, that leads into so many different types of conversations. And if you're on the first date and somebody says, "Wow, the trees are really beautiful this fall," there are so many places you have the ability to go to with that.
Mhm. Yeah, it provides for other like conversational opportunities
Yep.
maybe
Yep.
to call it.
Yep. And like we said before, if you don't know where to lead with that, you could also always say, "Tell me more. Tell me more about why you feel that way."
Yeah.
Or why are the trees, why
What is it
are
about
the
him this
leaves so
year, or
beautiful?
what is it about you
Yeah.
this year that you feel like it's different in the past? If
Yep.
that's what you're like, if that's what they were saying,
Yeah.
you feel like it's different.
So
It also helps. Then that would help you get to know them, and then you don't just have this silence. And some people are very uncomfortable in the silence. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing or a wrong thing. Oftentimes, that silence comes when there's a yes or no question, and the answer is not what the person wants.
they don't know what else to say.
Yeah. And improv is yes and oh, there's our guy. Improv is yes, yes and otherwise when it's a no, it's just like where does the conversation
Where's it
go?
go? Yeah.
Yeah, where does it go?
Where's it go? So you want to give that opportunity to have that. So first date means if those things pop up, then they pop up.
Mhm.
But I think the question is specifically asking when do you hit these things in a very specific sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I disagree with you around date 3, 4, or 5 or something. Wow, guy. Um, I don't know if y'all heard that in the microphone,
Belched.
but
Lay down.
date 3, 4,
Lay
or
down.
5, somewhere in that
Lay
area.
down.
Because
Yeah,
I do
I think
get
so.
if you have kids, for example, having had to date with kids. If you have kids, you do want to know where somebody else stands on kids, or what is the modus, or what is the where the things going? Where's the momentum? What's the plan? Do you
Right.
want to have kids? Do you not want to have kids? And if this isn't one of those things where it came off of something online, where those questions might have been asked, then you do need to get to that information, which I understand.
Yeah.
But I
So you
would
think date maybe like 4 and 5?
I might be like date 3, 4, 5, somewhere in that range. I like the structure of date one and two. I do agree with the idea with date one. I'm just trying to determine if I want to get to date two with you or not.
Yeah, it's not otherwise you're going like do I want to do I want to be with this person long term?
Right, right,
Like, do I want to have a life with this person long term when we haven't even
right.
discussed, like, can I sit across from them and eat a meal or have a drink or have a coffee or something
Like if
along
I'm
those
still
lines?
nervous sitting around you eating a meal on date, you know, date one that's okay.
There's going to be some
Date
awkwardness.
two,
That's
right?
normal.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Date 3 or 4 might be a date 6, 7, or 8 first before I know if I can eat a meal around you comfortably. But we're probably in double digits dates before I'm starting to contemplate like, are we gonna go down that road or not? Up until date 10, maybe date 1 is to get to 2, and 2 is to get to 3. 3 is to get to 4.
Do you think,
Maybe when I get to date 4, we're looking at double digits now. Maybe 4 to get me to 6. We skipping 2s.
I was going to say, do you think, I don't think it took you that long when we started dating.
It didn't, but you're counting physical dates. We had telephone dates.
That's true.
So we had
That's true.
telephone dates.
Yeah.
But I can't remember how many telephone calls we had. But I do remember it was pretty early on that I said, I have to get you down here. If you
Yeah.
remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty early on. I said, I have to get you down here because I need to meet you in person to know if where this is going. In my mind, which I didn't fully explain to you then, and you wouldn't find out till later, which you shouldn't have until later anyway. So, but where it was going in my mind, if it's going to go down this track and we're operating from a long distance perspective, I need to know now before I get there.
Before you let yourself get there.
Yeah, because notice you were down here before we got to date, quote unquote, 10.
Yeah.
Uh huh. Yep. See, they ain't absolutes, they work.
You try to push me in a corner with those questions.
No, I don't. I just try to give you
And
guardrails.
I'm just like,
I know you don't like it. You hate it.
I don't
You
like
hate
it.
it.
I
That's
don't like
your
it.
stubbornness wants to fight those numbers.
Because I operate in the gray.
Hey, it's good to operate in the gray, but gray still involves black and white.
Agree to disagree.
Yo, you want to agree to disagree? What version of gray do you know about?
You hate when I
What
say
version of
you
Greg
hate
you
when I
working
say that. You hate it. That's why I say it. Yeah, so I would say on the first date, do not have your
with?
checklist. This is not a job interview.
Nope.
And a lot of people nowadays approach it like it's a job
Yeah,
interview.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And is this person going to be a good fit, for me?
Here's something I think is an oxymoron, right? What is the main reason in today's society that we hear people talking about they stay with somebody?
It was easier than leaving, or I don't want to start over.
That one. Or I
Yeah.
don't want to start over. And then on the tail end of the I don't want to start over, they usually put
Dating
something
sucks. I
like,
don't want to start over.
well, they also usually put into something like, I wasted so much time, or I put so much time into this, or so much effort into this. And so they're at a point in a relationship, the relationship is dead, and they don't want to move on because they put so much time in it. But at the beginning, when they should actually put the time in, they want to avoid putting that time in because they want to go to the checklist.
Yeah.
Like at the
Could be, I don't
beginning of
think it's
the,
that they want to avoid. Well, maybe
there is
they
a
want to
sense of not
jump
wasting
the. They
time.
want to jump the thing.
Is the checklist jumping the thing, or is the checklist getting to a yes or no answer so they can know if they need to go no real quick? Because I feel like the checklist is getting to that yes or no so they can figure out, make a decision and decide if they're going to stay around and move on real quickly.
I think that checklist is saying I don't want to use this time here or waste my time here if they don't want these things that I want.
Yeah.
But we're not giving a lot of grace for people to change and be different, or the conversation of why, or are you open to that? Or maybe I would have kids, maybe I wouldn't,
And
and go back, have a conversation.
yeah.
No, I don't really want kids, but I would if I would find, maybe I would if I would find someone that I really want to be with. And I've
Right.
seen that
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, and that's what I'm getting at. That waste my time thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's less a waste of the time at the beginning of the process to see if that's where somebody wants to go, and to let it slowly roll into that, or to slowly find that answer out no in an actual form than a yes or no question. It's less waste of a time to do it at the beginning than it is to hold on to something at the end
Yeah, when it's
when you
dead,
are, it's dead and you
somebody has
know.
quietly quit the relationship.
Right. Somebody is dipped out, is dead. You
They're still
know,
there in
they've
person,
closed the
but they've
door to their
quietly
side of
quit.
the hotel suite. Like
I still
you
disagree with
you
that.
had you were in
I
the
still
same room.
disagree with that.
Yeah, you can disagree all you want. That's how it
Yeah,
happens.
I still disagree with that.
There are two doors on that bad boy. He's got his and you got yours. You're not in the same room until marriage, until you've decided that you're spiritually married. Up until then, you're in two different rooms.
I
You disagree with
agree
it.
to disagree.
Yeah, you disagree. You agree to disagree.
That's not closure, because closure is for the relationship. So if you're not giving that closure for the relationship, you're just closing. You're closing your own door and moving on. You're not allowing. That's just poor communication. I don't care what you say. That's poor communication.
Whose
That's
relationship?
bad.
Whose responsibility is to do closure?
The one who decides it's done.
So if he decides it's done, it's his responsibility to do closure for her.
Yeah, for
I
the relationship.
see. I disagree with that.
For the relationship.
Well, look, put it this way. Change it. I don't disagree with that. I think it would be responsible. I think it would be the intelligent, the smart thing to do.
Kind thing
It
to
would be
do.
the kind thing to do. I've always
the
been I've
respectful
always
thing to
been
do?
a person about closure. Even when we started dating, I told you I had somebody that we had just started going out on a couple of dates. We weren't what's the word I'm looking for? We weren't exclusive or anything, but we had gone out on 2 or 3 dates. We had another one planned, and I called them. Didn't text. I called them and said there's somebody I wanted. And that's even before we were exclusive, because I just think you just owe that to a person who's giving you time.
Did you want to date with him after we had met?
Yes.
After we started talking, or met in person?
Not after we met in person. After we started talking.
I don't recall hearing about this.
Oh. Wasn't nothing special. You won out. I don't understand what you got to hear. I don't even remember the date. So it tells you how. I don't even remember the date. So it tells you who had my mind then, doesn't it? It was you. It was always
Stop being
you.
cheesy.
It was always the eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes. But anyway, yes, it would be kind to close the door.
And respectful.
and be respectful. A bunch of different things. A bunch of different things. But at the end of the day, if the person who ended the relationship doesn't close that door, are you going to stand there staring at a door closed?
I mean,
Standing at
granted, somebody ghosting you is closure,
yeah.
right? Like you have to say like, okay, I'm moving on without this.
That's my point exactly.
But if someone's gonna, if you're considering like, I don't want to be with this person, just be the adult and say, I don't think this is for me.
I agree with that. I agree with that because you are adult enough to start into it,
Right.
and oftentimes,
It's
well,
just
you know what?
rude.
I don't know what the
It's
sex
rude.
rate in America is right now
You don't know
because the sex
what?
rate has been going down
Oh,
in
yeah.
America and people haven't been having it as much. But let's say if you were adult enough to have sex, you should have adult enough to actually call up and be like, "Hey, I don't want this anymore."
Yeah.
You're adult enough to be intimate. You're adult enough to be private. You're adult enough to say, even if you haven't had sex, you're adult enough to say something that said, I have affection for you, or I like you, or I want to be around you, or something of that nature. So be adult enough to call up somebody and say, hey, this isn't working for me. I mean, seriously. But
feel like-
that being said, that being said,
I was like following right along until I know this is going to take a turn.
what?
Right here.
No.
You're going to say, but that being said, closure, like one person walking away is closure.
I was going to say, if the person is gone, don't just stand there looking off into this ain't a movie. Don't just stand there looking off into the distance like, are they coming back? No. Turn around and go somewhere else. How long you stand there waiting for closure is on you.
I'm not saying that they should stand there and wait for closure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying the nice, polite, kind, adult, responsible thing to do is if you have even gone on one date with this person,
Right.
say, hey, I had a lovely time, but I don't think I want to go on another date.
But unfortunately, we don't always have nice, polite, and adult. We definitely don't have nice, polite, and adult, especially with the social media stuff.
You were saying,
and with tech stuff.
This is fine. That is the closure. It's fine. That is the closure.
You asked me from a male's perspective. I'm saying for the person who left, that's the closure.
No, that's coward.
That's the closure. Coward closure, call it whatever you want it. Cowardly closure. It's the closure. For
just
that,
do better, people. Just
for that
do
scenario,
better.
I agree. But for that scenario,
Voice got
I
real
know
high.
that. But that is the closure. So if that closure hasn't happened, don't sit there waiting. No, I want closure. I need closure. Just move on.
For it.
No, but some people do. That's why we're having this conversation.
Some people do.
Yeah, that's why we're having this
conversation.
Some
because
people do.
They've been like feverishly texting each other for weeks, and then all of a sudden it's just nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, did something happen to you? Did something like, are you okay? It's like when I've told you like my clients have like Pavlov's dogs in me. Like they've trained me to know who's on time all the time, who's early.
Right.
You know, all these things.
Right.
So when I have somebody who's always on time, when they're outside of that norm,
yeah,
I'm like, uh-oh.
Something's wrong.
And you're getting a text from me saying, hey, it's not like you. I'm checking in. Is everything okay? I can tell you like so many of them have received those texts from me.
Yeah.
You know, even if some of them, if they're not there right at the time of their appointment,
you know something's
they've
off.
trained me that they're always there 10 minutes early.
Yeah, you know.
So I'm texting like, hey, I was just out in the waiting room and you're not there. And while you're not late, it's late for you.
Well, I feel like this goes ahead and supports what I was saying. Because if y'all been texting feverishly back and forth and all of a sudden he stops texting or she stops texting or they stop texting, and we've already talked about the fact of quietly quitting and stuff, well, then you've gotten your message. Something is wrong.
But that's not a quietly quitting. That's just you just walked off the job.
I don't know. You know what happens if they walk off the job?
Quietly quitting.
They get fired.
You slowly just start doing it.
That's right. Starts doing stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But if they walk off the job, they get fired.
Yeah, if they just walk off the job, everyone's like, hey,
same thing.
Where did Doug go?
Doug stopped showing up. Doug ain't been on the premises for like a week and a half.
Where is Doug? Anybody seen Doug?
Is Doug alive?
Yeah, that's what it is when you just stop communicating all the time.
Doug
go
gone.
dark. Everyone's like, oh, well, where is he? I hope he's okay. I hope nothing happened.
Hey,
everyone's trying to track him down.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it ain't
that's
rude.
That's why there's this. Like,
I'm not saying it isn't unkind. I am saying if they've done that, move on.
I don't disagree with the moving
Consider
on.
it
Before
closed.
you were just like, oh, that is closure.
Consider it closed. Delete their name from your phone if you need to.
Just put it in
Print
there
out a picture and burn that sucker if you need to.
Put it in a name that on your phone in a name that
Since you like to carry bats in your old car, go ahead and take it and attach it to the printer and go.
I've also been known to change people's names in my phone to like don't answer
Don't
that.
answer this person.
Like, why would you want to answer the phone for someone who's like,
Yeah.
ghosted me,
Right.
you
Walked
know?
off the job.
Yeah. So
This is Doug. He dumb.
yeah. So it's like, don't answer. Like, this is a ghost. It's not real. Like, don't answer. Right. Like, that would be pop up on my phone when
Right.
they would call or text, and you're like, oh, well, of
Ooh,
course I don't want to answer that.
What if you put something funny in just so it makes you laugh, but it also reminds you of how much you hate them?
Oh, I've done that before.
Big ear Doug. Oh, tell me. Unless it's me.
Okay, I won't tell you. So one time I put somebody's name in my phone as lying a-hole. And I was at home visiting my parents, and I was outside. As you know, they live in like very rural.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was outside doing something. And my mom just yelled, and my phone was in the house. And so she just yelled out the back door, "Hey, Cassie, lying a-hole is calling. Should I answer it?"
Oh,
And I
that's
just turned
funny.
around and said, "Why would you answer that?
Right.
Who wants to talk to a lying a-hole? No. Do you want to talk to a lying a-hole?" And she's, "No."
Was she
Then
being
don't
serious or was she
answer
being
it.
funny?
She's probably like being silly.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I
because
thought.
that
Yeah,
name popped up, she's probably
she's
being
being silly. I can see her being
But
silly with that.
yeah, like just yells
Just
out
having
the
fun.
back door. Yeah. Should I
That's
answer it?
funny.
No, like why would you? Do you want to talk to a lying a-hole?
No.
Then why would you? No, of course not.
But everybody in their life needs a lying a-hole every now and then. Just have a whole lying a-hole conversation.
So along those lines.
But here's the thing, because we just did it. We just did the same exact thing. We took all this time wasting time on the dead end of the relationship. Talking about wasting time on the end of the relationship. And then at the beginning, people won't go on 3 dates to get to that answer because they want to find that answer out on date 1.
Yeah, when we talk about in our dating group sometimes that sometimes you just have to like exercise those muscles of communication,
Yeah.
and conflict and stuff like that, and like getting your reps up some with going out on dates. If you don't go on any dates or you go on very, very few dates, and then you go on a date with somebody, you're like, "Oh, I think this has potential." You are awkward as all get out.
Yep.
You don't know, like you're uncomfortable because you're not comfortable within yourself.
Yep.
And then we've created these barriers already because we have all this discomfort internally and within.
Yep. And then you're going to throw, let's get this checklist done on the top of that.
Yeah, so sometimes
not-
it's just like get it,
That's why that first date just doing something dumb is a good idea.
I think it's a good
You
idea.
just do something dumb.
You've created an experience
Create an
together.
experience. Hopefully you get to
personally
laugh
have had a new
together.
experience.
Hopefully it helps you be natural. It helps you see them in their natural format. So you don't have to worry about, is this the representative I'm seeing right here as much?
Right. And going on one date like that, and you're like, "Oh, that was kind of fun." Like back to our curling thing, because this is our example. Then you can say, when you have another first date or second date, "Hey, I had this date once where we went curling and it was silly and kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, let's go again." You're still not good at it.
No.
second
So you don't have to
time.
come up with 30 new things for 30 new dates.
No, you're like, "Oh, I've
Yeah,
already
it's
done
not
that on the
that.
first date.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
do that again." Yeah.
And then what I was thinking might be good about that too is, well, I was saying it was natural. I was saying you get to be yourself. But also, let's say you go curling and the date sucks. But you have fun curling.
Mhm.
At least it balances it out
And
somewhat.
it's not just the two of you there, right? Like,
It's
there's
not
a
just the
group,
two of you,
there's
it's in a
other people
room.
there.
So you're out there curling and you're thinking like, oh, we don't have this great banter or conversation or whatever, but this curling thing is kind of weird. I'm sweeping ice. But you get to have the experience nonetheless. So even if it's a bad date, you get to have the experience. So you get the offset a little bit.
Yeah.
You get the
It's
offset
funny.
a little bit.
It's funny regardless.
Funny regardless.
Yeah.
All right. So it seems like you have come down to the definitive answer.
Don't say that. Do not say that.
I come around the ballpark area of date 3. I
Like
said
after date
3
after
through
date
5.
1 or 2, but before date,
Before date 7.
6 or 7.
It's
Yeah.
all gray. It's all fluid, as they say on the
All
sports
gray.
show.
All gray. Yeah. But if other people have other insight or ideas on that, I would love to hear them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the secret questions are ways people get around to doing it without asking directly. For example, we were talking about you could possibly ask for advice on the first date.
Yeah.
So you do that as a way of getting to an answer. I wouldn't suggest it, but
I probably wouldn't, but
yeah, I wouldn't either.
so you
No, you
debunk
don't
your
need
own
that
thing.
answer that quickly. You just don't.
Yeah.
Take some time beforehand. So, all right, yeah, I think we've answered that one. I've gotten you as close as I can get you to a definitive answer.
If you
So,
want me to continue to show up to this podcast, yeah.
I know how you are.
Otherwise, you'll just be sitting there with an
So,
empty chair over here.
I'm just
The
talking to
dog will
you.
be in here because that's how you
Look,
set
look,
up
right.
your.
Hey, look. They'll talk to me anyway. Well, let's shut this down then. All right. That ends that version.
Yeah,
So,
so that's some ideas on when to ask some of these more in-depth or intense things.
all right.
Yep.
Next time.
Thanks for coming. Real comfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good.